Egg yolk, what is going on, viewers of the tube? My name is Tyler and welcome to the channel that some people find more annoying than a turf war between two musical street artists. Top of the morning to ya! You know our bagpipes. It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, speaking of turf wars and being annoying, methinks that the XRP army isn't going to be too happy with us after this video. Yes, it's time for a video to inform any newbies who are being dragged into the space about Ripple and XRP. Specifically, why I wouldn't touch this garbage with a 10-foot pole. They give the illusion that they are the corporate coin, suit and tie, but in my opinion, they are about as dark and evil as it gets in the cryptocurrency space. So let's dive right in and begin. One of XRP's hidden investors is Wachovia, the project hex of any cryptocurrency. Yes, if you are an XRP holder and new, Wachovia is going to let you in on his little secret, put out in September of this year in a podcast interview. Let's watch now.
When you see the different utility providers in the market, do you have partnerships with any of the other major blockchains? I mean, how do they get along?
I think everybody gets along pretty darn well with everybody, with the exception of the BTC camp now. They seem to think that everything that's not BTC is a scam, and they love to attack other projects. But I own a bunch of Ethereum, I own Dash, I own Monero, I own Zcash, I own Ripple, I own Stellar. I own anything that I think has a good shot at becoming useful.
Still calling it Ripple, huh, Roger? Still calling it Ripple. Good throw the XRP.
So another fun fact in regards to, I was technically the second person ever involved with Ripple or XRP, whatever you want to call it. So the original idea for it came from Jed McCaleb, as most people probably know. But his idea was that, hey, Roger, I think Bitcoin mining is wasteful. It uses lots of electricity, and it doesn't, and we can accomplish the same thing with using less electricity. So I know, he said that he knows how to make a version of Bitcoin that doesn't require mining. And asked if I would pay for the David Schwartz, who now became the CTO. He said, hey, can you pay this guy's salary to help build it, and I'll guide it, and we'll work on it together. So I said, sure, let's give it a try. And I think that was way back in 2012. So technically, I was
that's incredible.
The second person ever involved in Ripple as well.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yep, Wachovia is the second investor in XRP, as he paid for the work to be done on the protocol to the original founder, Jed McCaleb, who came up with the idea, including paying for David Schwartz's development salary. So Roger has fatty bags. Why is this bad? Well, in my opinion, Wachovia is a part of something that goes deeper than anyone wants to believe. The Tether cartel, specifically helping out with the technology that crypto capital used through Coinapult. From this 2014 article, Gonzo in Panama, Bitcoin investor Wachovia and Barry Silbert get tropical, with a picture of Ira Miller, CEO of Coinapult. The article talks about the Panamanian company's first investors. The seed investment announced today was participated in by serial investor Wachovia, aka Bitcoin Jesus, Bitcoin Trust founder Barry Silbert, and Eric Voorhees, a serial entrepreneur and co-founder of Coinapult before he stepped away from managing responsibilities to see legal issues related to the sale of his first Bitcoin startup, Satoshi Dice. And just going to Coinapult's website, which is literally still up to this day, we can see the company went down in December of 2018, and just a bit lower, now integrated with Crypto Capital. Whoopee!
Hey look, my mom's here. Whoopee.
So if you've been following my channel, December 2018 is when the shadow bank Crypto Capital lost $850 million of Tether and Bitifinex funds. This Cointelegraph article about the ordeal sums it up nicely. Crypto Capital is a Panama-based firm that the U.S. Department of Justice claims provided shadow banking services to several cryptocurrency exchanges, including Bitifinex, Binance, CX.io, Coinapult, and QuardirgaCX. Oh, so nice having Coinapult next to all those beautiful names in the space. QuardirgaCX, Bitifinex, Binance, which if you understand Veer, he is involved with most of these names and then some. highly comfortable transferring large amounts of Bitcoin to Bitifinex, 25,000 or more at a time, as seen here, being an angel investor in Binance. And his Coinapult CEO, Ira Miller, created none other than the Crypto Capital API. How do we know this? Well, going to his Gitter chat for his website, Degener, a Time in Rap says, "Hi guys, Crypto Capital pointed me here. We're having trouble connecting to their API. I'm just trying to get the example code to work." Well, Ira answers below. He deleted something, I wish we could see that, but says, "Trust me, I wrote the unit test. It does exactly what you show, assuming is an INT account number like 9 million. Yep, so that confirms Ira was highly involved with Crypto Capital. And then because we know he owns Degener, we can go to their GitHub. Scroll down, there is the Crypto Capital API, and look, Ira Miller as the sole person. And if we clicked into the collection of Bitcoin exchange clients, we can see Ira created clients for all the shit in the space. Poloniex, OKCoin, Kraken, Huobi, BTC, BTC China, Bitstamp, Bitfinex. So why is this bad for XRP? Well, for one, Roger invested big time into Coinapult, CEO Ira Miller. And Roger, he was a huge promoter of Ira. Going to his YouTube channel and videos, he posted an interview of Ira talking about BitInstant, which was founded by Charlie Shrem, Eric Voorhees, and Ira Miller. You see all the connections? And then Cypher Trace's Q3 2019 cryptocurrency anti-money laundering report brings us all together with the Crypto Capital arrest. On October 24th, Crypto Capital executive Ivan Manuel Molina Lee was arrested by Polish authorities for suspected money laundering and his involvement in an international drug cartel. According to Polish media, Lee was laundering money for Colombian drug cartels through cryptocurrency exchanges. Crypto Capital's payment processing services were used by several prominent exchanges, such as Binance, Kraken, and BitMEX. However, most notably, Crypto Capital played a key role in the recent Bitifinex and QuardirgaCX scandals. QuardirgaCX, let's talk about that. As I mentioned, that case is heating up last week. They're possibly exhuming the body of CEO Gerald Cotton. Well, the missing funds from that case, they actually went to some services. Taylor Monahan, MyCrypto's CEO, researched it and found that transactions were going from Quadriga's wallets and going to Bitifinex. Tweet 1. Poloniex, tweet 2, and down a little further. All three main addies also send and receive to Crazy Address, which pushed money to Shapeshift, owned by Eric Voorhees. And their research found that these wallets were also sending to Bitcoin mixers and darknet markets. And you know what's hilarious? Let's listen to what Roger had to say in that same podcast interview I showed earlier, only put out about 6 months ago, about what he thinks are the most valuable and needed cryptocurrencies and where to look for them.
As you can see, he is not a Bitcoin maximalist. He is not a one to rule them all. He's invested in many projects. So one last time, Roger, just because the room has a lot of new people in it, would you talk about the many digital assets that you are very fond of?
Pretty much all the top market cap digital assets, and the ones that are trying to facilitate people actually using them in commerce. And a good place to look for that is look at darknet markets and see which currencies they're using. That's a really good sign as to which currency works the best as a currency if they're using it in darknet markets. And I heard about Bitcoin for the first time because of the Silk Road. I thought, what kind of money are they using? So if you want to look at what the future currencies are, look at what people are using in darknet markets. I think that's a good indication.
Huh? Darknet markets? Why is that on your mind, Mr. Veer? Well, I'll tell you this right now. XRP, the currency, is not used in the traditional darknet markets. Chainalysis put out their Crypto Crime Report 2020 just last month and had an example of currencies accepted on the darknet. USD and BTC, the top, then Monero, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and at the bottom, Zcash. No XRP. But then you had Elliptic, another blockchain analysis firm, put out their own report where XRP is used in crime, but far less often than Bitcoin. Well, in my opinion, that crime use is about to be so much more. Just last week, the Ripple company announced they would be adding another US-Mexico remittance provider, Intermex, from this Decrypt article. Yesterday, the firm behind the XRP ledger announced a partnership with International Money Express, a leading remittance services firm in Latin America and the Caribbean. Intermex, listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange as IMXI, is one of the largest remitter service providers in the world. It services 100,000 payer locations across 17 countries, which processes more than 30 million transactions per year, according to the company's own figures. Yes, their own, nobody else's financial figures, because they built this pretty darn quick. Going to SEC filing for International Money Express. They filed with the US SEC in August of 2018. So damn, Gina, they became one of the largest remitter providers in only 1.5 years after filing for US Stock Exchange listing? Well, let's look at what has happened with that stock since listing. It's just ravaged with insider trading. Wallmine reports, over the last 2 years, insiders at International Money Express have traded over $195 million worth of International Money Express stock. On average, International Money Express executives and independent directors trade stock every 17 days, with an average trade being worth over $6 million. But getting back to Mexico, Intermex provided an update about their business in the second quarter of 2018, and they said it grew 31% when compared with the previous year, based on strong performance across our business in Mexico and Guatemala. Now let's switch back to their SEC filing. They are located in Miami, Florida, which is very important because in 2011, The Guardian reported how a 22-month investigation figured out that Wachovia, which became part of the giant Wells Fargo, had been laundering money for drug cartels through remittances. The article states criminal proceedings were brought against Wachovia, though not against any individual, but the case never came to court. In March 2010, Wachovia settled the biggest action brought under the U.S. Bank Secrecy Act through the U.S. District Court in Miami. Now that the year's deferred prosecution has expired, the bank is in effect in the clear. It paid federal authorities $110 million in forfeiture for allowing transactions later proved to be connected to drug smuggling, and incurred a $50 million fine for failing to monitor cash used to ship 22 tons of cocaine. Even more shocking and more important, the bank was sanctioned for failing to apply the proper anti-laundering strictures to the transfer of $378.4 billion, a sum equivalent to 1/3 of Mexico's gross national product, into dollar accounts from so-called Casa de Cambio, CDCs in Mexico, currency exchange houses with which banks did business. Further in the article, all of this occurred despite the fact that Wachovia's office was in Miami, designated by the US government as a high-intensity money laundering and related financial crime area and a high-intensity drug trafficking area, since the drug cartel wars began in 2005. Wachovia, Miami, Intermex, Miami, and then this. North Texas business owner is guilty in money laundering scheme. The article states, according to information presented in court, Felipe Torres owned and operated Cumbia Records, Justa Cantano owned and operated Variedades Esperanza, and Jose Alvera owned and operated Supermercado 5 Estrellas. All three of these businesses operated as money services businesses, located in the Northwest Highway area, and were authorized agents of several international money remitter companies, such as, it gives names, and Intermex wire transfers. The three MSBs utilize these remitter services to facilitate the transmission of proceeds obtained from the distribution of methamphetamines via wire transfers to Michoacan, Mexico. Intermex had MSBs working with drug cartels, Wachovia, Wells Fargo working with drug cartels, and who is thinking about a partnership and has been in talks for some time? Wells Fargo and Ripple. And then, just in September of last year, Wells Fargo issued a stablecoin on R3's Corda. Who do we know to be working with Ripple and XRP? R3. But the most damaging thing regarding all this is the actual filing from Intermex with the SEC. The table of contents sheds light onto what exactly Intermex could and will most likely be doing business with in Mexico. This section, changes in tax laws and unfavorable outcomes of tax positions we take could adversely affect our tax expense, liquidity, business, and financial condition. Below, we file tax returns and take positions with respect to federal, state, local, and international taxation, and our tax returns and tax positions are subject to review and audit by taxing authorities. An unfavorable outcome in a tax review or audit could result in higher tax expense, including interest and penalties, which could adversely affect our results of operations and cash flows. Okay, so they're already saying cash flows could go, Next section. Our business and results of operations may be adversely affected by foreign, political, economic, and social instability risks, foreign currency restrictions and devaluation, and various local laws associated with doing business in Latin America. We derive a substantial portion of our revenue from our money remittance transactions from the United States to the Latin American corridor, particularly the corridors to Mexico and Guatemala, and we are exposed to certain political, economic, and other uncertainties not encountered in the U.S. operations, including increased risks of social unrest, strikes, drug cartel and gang-related violence, war, kidnapping of employees or agents, nationalization, forced negotiation or modification of contracts, difficulty resolving disputes and enforcing contract provisions, expropriation of assets, taxation policies, foreign exchange restrictions, and restrictions on repatriation of income and capital, currency rate fluctuations, increased governmental ownership and regulation of the economy and markets in which we operate, and restrictive governmental regulation, bureaucratic delays, uncertain application of laws and regulations, and general hazards associated with foreign sovereignty over certain areas in which operations are conducted. Below, our ability to grow in international markets and our future results could be adversely affected by a number of factors, including 3 important points. Number 1, possible increased costs and additional regulatory burdens imposed on our business. Number 2, the implementation of US sanctions resulting in bank closures in certain countries and the ultimate freezing of our assets. And finally, 3, burdens of complying with a wide variety of laws and regulations. So my friends, outside of Ripple's escrow wallet and Chris Larson, Jed McCaleb is the next largest XRP holder, then most likely Roger Ver. Ver and some of his friends, including Ira, are involved with some of the technology for crypto capital, which we know was working with Colombian drug cartels. Bitcoin has been the currency of choice for the darknet markets and illicit activities. Roger Ver knows that, but it looks like XRP might just be looking to take a chunk of illicit money moving, especially for Mexican cartels, through enhancing traditional financial systems, through partnerships like the one with Intermex. I'm just calling it like I see it. When there are many red flags, I stay away. Cheers. I'll see you next time.